This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're talking about why chasing girls is in fact making you more feminine rather than becoming more masculine. Let me explain, and I'm gonna do my best to keep it very simple. Make sure you comment down below with your opinions. I wanna hear it, and then we can start a discussion. First of all, we've gotta realize two things about women. They are way more emotional than we are, and they've got way more problems than we've got. Let's talk about the emotions. Understand that women are now creatures. Because their emotions are so intense, it means that the past and the future is no longer present. It's not there anymore. It's only the now because of the intense emotions. Think about it yourself. When you were a child, when you were a teenager, when emotions took over your body, what ended up happening is that you became so focused on whatever was going on at the time that the past and the future was no longer in your brain. You had no overview over the consequences of what you were doing because of intense emotions. Now, you've grown up from that, which means that you've become more of a man, which means that you can actually control yourself a little bit now. However, women don't really ever manage to get past that hump. They end up having intense emotions throughout their entire lives, and then we wonder why they can't control themselves. They're not designed to be able to control themselves. They're designed to be emotional. Think about it yourself. Would you want a woman in bed who is not emotional? You want women to be massively emotional, and if that is what you desire in that space, then you have to be okay with the fact that they're also emotional when it comes to other stuff. If they're not emotional when it comes to other stuff, they're gonna be not very emotional when it comes to the bedroom as well. So now you see that their intense emotions is what makes them feminine. The more masculine they are, the more they're gonna try to control these intense emotions. Obviously, it's not gonna work in the long run, but that's what feminine is all about. It's emotional instability and being all over the place. Because of their more intense emotions, they've got more intense desire for pleasure. They're also very focused on immediate gratification. It has to happen now because the emotion is so intense that nothing else matters. It cannot wait. They'll want to involve the alcohol. They'll want to involve the cigarettes because they need it for their bodies because of their intense emotions. The second aspect, as mentioned in the beginning, femininity has a lot more problems. The reason why is because when you're in the now, you tend to not think about the future. It's not really important what's going to happen later. What's important is what is going on right now. Because of this, you end up neglecting and postponing a lot of stuff that you're supposed to be doing, but you're not taking action on. And that's why other things become bigger and bigger and bigger until they're a crisis. And then it has to be solved, and it has to be solved now. Femininity is going to focus a lot of time on things that are not important. You know, because you've listened to your girlfriend. And then when you try to give her suggestions of what she can do to solve the problem, she doesn't even want to hear the solution, even though it's completely obvious. She just wants a hug, and she just wants you to tell her that it's going to be okay. It's not something that guys should be spending their time on when they've got an empire to build. Does that make sense? So if women have so intense emotions and have so much more problems than guys, why do we try to spend so much time with them? Why are we literally almost begging them to go out on dates with us? Why are we always continuously looking at all of the girls at the mall as if something's wrong with our necks? It's because we desire them in the bedroom. And that's a problem. Why is that a problem? A lot of guys who will watch this video will say, hey, that's masculine, man. That's me taking care of my, my physical business. I need to get this done because I need to release. I need to be a man. It's manly. I will let you know right now, it's feminine. The reason why chasing girls is feminine is because these women become the leaders. They have something that you want and you're willing to do whatever it takes in order for them to decide whether they're going to give it to you or not. The reason why it makes you feminine is because it is completely and utterly based on a short-term, immediate problem. You want to get with her now, as soon as possible. It's a short-term, immediate gratification thing. It is not solving a long-term problem. Getting rich and setting up passive income so that you never ever have to have a job in your entire life ever again, that is solving a long-term problem. Getting laid doesn't solve anything other than the immediate release that you need every 3 to 4 days or more, if you could. And just to get that from women, we end up spending tons of money on better clothes, tons of money on alcohol, tons of money on being cool, tons of money on a car that's not necessary other than to impress women, tons of money increasing our status in society for no other reason than to get women. You are in essence making all of the women that you're chasing the leader over you. Because it depends on them if you're going to get laid or not. It doesn't depend on you, it depends on them. If you are out and about chasing girls or wishing that girls would chase you, you are making women your purpose instead of fulfilling a grander purpose that you've set for yourself that might include women, yes, that might include kids, yes, but that serves all of humankind and that solves your long-term problem of scarcity of resources forever. That should be your grand purpose. And yet, you're thinking only about the immediate gratification of partying and girls. This is exactly what makes you feminine. You want to jump on the masculinity bandwagon? Then you've got to let go of the need for immediate gratification and begin the path towards delayed gratification and doing those things that you know need to get done because it will solve the long-term problem of your financial situation. The 4 stages of leadership does not start with lead women. And yet that's what the first thing we think about when we're 11, 12 years old, 13 years old. We're like, man, how can I get these girls to like me? How can I get these girls to like me? Yet you should be thinking at 11, 12, 13 years old, how can I establish my empire? Did you think like that when you were that age? Because the fact is, it doesn't take very long to become successful and establish passive income if you're focused on it. Most of the time, it is the distractions that are stopping us from actually being focused. The biggest distraction being women. It starts with lead yourself. Practice seed retention. Get a job and keep the job. Start a side hustle and become self-employed. Educate yourself without getting an academic education. Those things will make sure that you lead yourself, which will take you to the next level where you're now more experienced, more people skilled, further along than the people that want to have what you've got, and so they're going to follow you. And suddenly you're beginning to set up a team of like-minded people who are going in the same direction. Whether they're business partners or if they're employees, it doesn't matter. You setting up a team that requires people skills and that will exponentially assist you in making more and more money. Once that is established, once you've set up the passive income, now we can begin to go into the lead women phase and understand the woman, understand what is going on with her brain, understand her emotional needs, know what she needs at any given time so that the environment is set up in a way that she can be feminine, that she can laugh, giggle, play, and not have to worry about money, not have to worry about a thing because you've got it covered. You are the protector and the provider, and you've done the things that are necessary in the past for the rest of your future, the rest of your lives together to be absolutely amazing and absolutely fantastic. I wish that I had been taught from 12 years old that my goal should be to establish my empire and to not worry about the women before they'll begin to come towards me in droves. Because you'll recognize over time that the more successful you become, the more the women just flock towards you to get your attention. A story of this is some of my clients who are now beginning to get the success that they've wanted over the past few months, and they're getting momentum, and women they just sense it. It's like they're like sharks in the ocean when there's blood. They're like immediately they come out of the woodwork and they're like, oh, there's momentum, there's money going around, and now they come out. The choice is not to completely put away women forever. Women are an important part of having joy in this life because they're the life of the party. They're the life of our lives. However, in order to make that relationship fantastic forever, set yourself up once with the financials so that things are done, taken care of, it's finished. If you don't do that, the risk becomes that, you know what? I have a wife and I have kids and I can't jeopardize everything and start a business because it's too risky. The reason why he's thinking like that is because he did not establish his financials in advance of him finding his dream girl. If you never start a business, you're most probably going to work between 50 to 70,000 hours in a job that stands for just over broke. 50 to 70,000 hours. In the book Outliers, written by Malcolm Gladwell, he talks about you can become world-class elite in anything within 10,000 hours. If you understand this concept of setting up your passive income once and for all, just massively spending 2, 3, 4, 5 years, or maybe 10 years if that's what's required, building up a side hustle, building up a business, and spending 10 to 20,000 hours fixing that up, establishing that financial foundation, it would allow you to have the rest of your life taken care of financially. Work first, play later. And the earlier you make the decision to work, and during that process manage to completely put aside the women that are chasing you or that you are chasing, the faster you're going to get to your end goal. The last thing I wanted to mention is that your seed production is a constant reminder to take action. It reminds you to take action in one of two ways. Those two things is release by getting laid, and number two is retaining it and using the constant reminder to take action towards your dreams and goals. Some people manage to do both and eventually over a course of 20 to 30 years manage to build up massive wealth. But if you set aside the physical release for just a couple of years, man, your future is going to be set up massively towards achieving everything and anything you could ever dream of. Not only this, but being able to solve the problems of millions and perhaps billions of people into the future. You want to be part of making history. You want to be part of becoming a legend. All on your own with the help of all of those that have proceeded before you. It is a fantastic thing to become rich. That's what this channel is about, creating abundance in every single category of your life, but it requires focus. You cannot have too many things going on at the same time. This is why I say get rid of the biggest distraction just for a short period of time, man, and get your business rolling. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you in the next video.